Things I should say about the foam on these manuals is that it was by no means the same. You'll sometimes find quite thin foam was used. You can see the problem here. Just try and zoom in a bit. You can see that where the wires disappear through the strip down to each contact, and you see the way the foam relates to that. On some you got a very thick strip of foam, and they would it digs in quite a way into the manual wiring, and on others it's thinner and doesn't quite so much, and doesn't press in quite as much. In theory, if all the wires were like this one here and disappearing neatly down a hole, you might find that actually none of them will get caught. But you see a problem here where the wires aren't quite so neatly arranged, and it's come into contact with the foam, and that's going to be a problem. So it will vary, and the foam itself, this foam, as you can see, has gone a bit sort of crumbly in appearance, but it's actually quite sticky as it's turning back to a sort of petroleum-based product and turning into a tar. On some, particularly up the preset end of things, for some reason you can find that it really has turned to a complete tar. It's just a tarry mess. There's no foam as such there left anymore. So it varies quite considerably. The only thing to say about it is that every last crumb has to be got out of here. So I'm going to hoover most of this out, and then be using an eyeglass and a cotton wool bud, very carefully taking every single last piece of foam out of this before I even start repairing wires. So it's going to be a long job. And again, is those wires that have got caught quite severely by the foam. Let's try and zoom in a bit. See the amount of corrosion on that wire. All the way down. Yuck. I don't know just how toxic this stuff is okay, it attacks manual wires, as I pointed out, but actually when you see it where it's actually come into contact with the metal of the chassis, as it were, again, really bitten in there. You know, it's absolutely eaten into the metal. It's on really bites. So nasty stuff. Somebody with a PhD in corrosive materials might well be able to say why something that is made of foam, some petrochemical product, will so happily eat into metal after a while. There must have been something in it, but whatever it was bloody nasty. I've taken out, vacuumed out the big chunks of foam across the entire length. Just thought it was worth pointing out. Before I took this organ apart, I actually tested to see how many tones were missing, and I only actually found about one tone on the lower manual that was actually missing before I dismantled it. However, no matter how carefully you take the cover off, if the foam snagged the wire, as it had in these cases, and you can see here's a longitudinal piece of wire here that's got caught by the foam, not too severely. Here's another one though, which you hopefully can see. It's very, very fine here, which so find something to poke it with. One here, which again has been longitudinal, and it's actually snapped clean off just by virtue of pulling the cover off, really. It's been snagged up in the foam, and you can't do anything with it. An incredibly fragile, these wires. There we go. Yeah, there you go. So if I pull that at all, it just snaps straight off. There's the end of the wire there. And of course the trouble is, in amongst that wiring loom, is trying to find the other end of it. Bit of a nightmare. And these are resistance wires, they're precisely tapered resistances. And if you're going to replace any length of wire, you would alter the resistance if you're not using the right stuff.